Hello, my name is Derek Hylers. My topic is over power generators and some details of their operation. This is an assignment for Dr. Kate Davis's Eason 340 class at Texas A&M University for the fall of 2019. I spent 8 years in the U.S. Army as a power generation mechanic, and an additional 4 years after that overseeing power generation on several military bases in Afghanistan. So basically, when the engine is running on the generator, the rotor is connected to the engine. So when the engine's running, the rotor starts spinning inside the stator. Depending on the setup of the generator, depends on like what power and or how many volts is put out and how many hertz is put out. You can look at there's gauges on the front of the generator, or depending on what style of generator it is, some are on the side, that will tell you the voltage and the hertz being put out. When you start the generator, if there's no readings on your gauges, you can use a technique that's called like flash the field. And basically what you're doing is using DC voltage to create AC voltage. Whatever the power is set up as on a generator, it can be changed. So say if you're putting out 120/240 volts at 60 hertz, you can change that voltage to change it to a different voltage and then also change it to 50 hertz. Now, it's not as simple as just doing it. You have to like take the panel off the main gen. There will be a wiring diagram that will tell you like where the wires need to go for whatever voltage and hertz that you want put out. On commercial generators, they're controlled by computers also, so you also have to buy a license to the software through the company that makes the generator, and that can be very expensive. And they don't just like let anybody buy it either. You have to be certified to do it. But through that software, you'll go into the computer and change the settings on the generator, and like to change everything, like so it'll operate like you want it to. Once power is set as you need it, then like the power comes out at the load terminal. So what you'll do is like you'll have a power cable which you'll connect to the load terminal, and the other end, ideally, you'll want to connect it to a main distribution panel, which feeds several other sub-distribution panels, which in the end feeds to commercial distribution panels, which that are basically like the panels that you find in your house or apartments and stuff like that. So the generator also has many safety defaults that will shut down the generator, such as overload, which means if the load that you're pulling on that generator is higher than the capability of the generator, this fault will shut the generator down to prevent it from being damaged. So there's a lot of safety faults on generators that are good. There's also some differences. Like I said, I worked in the military for 8 years, and then I was a contractor for 4 years. So I've got a lot of experience dealing with military generators and civilian or commercial generators. Some of the differences: a military generator is easy to change the voltage and hertz. Like I was saying earlier, like with commercial generators, you have to have the software. You have to go in there into the panel. You have to be able to read the wiring diagram to know where to put everything. Well, on most military generators, all you do is there's a load panel on the side of the generator that you just unbolt like 12 bolts, and you just pull the panel out, and there'll be some guidelines that tell you like whatever power you're wanting. So you just line up those lines, and then you bolt it back down, and then changing from 50 to 60 hertz, there's just a toggle switch inside the control panel that you just flip, and that's it. Well, we know with commercial generators, like I explained, you got to go into the computer software to fix everything after you've rewired everything. Commercial generator has a better fault panel describing the issue with the generator. So with a commercial generator, you can just plug into the software and it'll tell you exactly where the problem is. Military generator just basically gives you a fault, which after more and more experience, you'll get an idea of what components are causing that fault. Military generators are less technical, so they're easy to repair. They're basically made up of components and wires. You know, commercial generators, a lot of computer stuff and stuff like that. So it's a whole lot easier to repair a military generator. So that's the end of my video. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.